Good morning. It's good to see you on this Wellness Wednesday right here on Your World. I hope that you're well. I hope that you're keeping warm. It's really, really cold here in Nairobi. So really, I hope that you are keeping warm. Thank you so much for making the time. My name is Winnie Lubembe, and today on the show, we'll be focusing on food. But we'll take a different angle and talk about rooted in wellness. And we'll be looking at healing foods from the ground up. Because most of the time we hear this phrase, you know that you are what you eat, and food is medicine, really. But how often do we think about it that way? Or most of the time we just focus on as long as we are eating, that is what is important. But really, what are we eating and how does it contribute to our general wellness and healing as well? So that is what we'll be focusing on the show today. You do not want to miss any part of the conversation. If your goal this year is to eat healthy and eat good food and foods that are safe, okay, then you are in the right place. I hope you did not lose that goal somewhere along the way, okay? But if you're, thinking about it and probably you're thinking, okay, I've been eating so bad throughout the year and I want to do better. Well, again, this show is specifically for you this morning. So you want to stick around and get to understand how we can use food for general wellness, but also for healing. I have an amazing panel this morning, and I'm not alone. I mean, I am alone to do this with Mukali. You know how we usually tunaanza na mkono kushoto. This is kushoto is left, eh? Kushoto. I have with me Lilian Momina, who is a dietitian. Good to see you this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Karibu sana.
Asante
Thank you
sana.
for making the time. We also have Njuguna Wangunyi, who's an organic farmer. Simgen, you've seen him before here on the show. You're gonna say good to see you again. Leo umewekwa katikati.
I don't know what happened. My desk is always
the last one. But you're in good company. You're in good company. And we also have Susan Award, who's a wellness coach, joining us this morning as well. Good to see you. Karibu sana on the show.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? First time on Your World?
Yes, it's my first time clearly trying to get warm.
Yeah.
With the cold weather.
You obeyed the weather.
Yes,
Some of us were freezing and shining
I'm not joking with the weather.
But it's so good to see you. And the question that we're asking you this morning is very simple, okay? The question is, what traditional healing food did your parents or grandparents swear by, okay? What traditional healing food did your parents or your grandparents swear by? You know the drill by now. At NTV Kenya, across all board is how you can reach us, and tag me as well at Lubembe_Winnie. If you want to call in live, feel free to do so. Our lines are open, or use our WhatsApp number 0112 500 400 and tell us what traditional healing food did your parents or grandparents swear by. Would love to know, okay? But really, let's start with you, Susan, because we're talking about wellness today, and you are a wellness coach in the building. We talk about wellness every single time, but do we really understand what it means when we say wellness? So can we go deeper into understanding wellness in itself? What exactly is it?
That's such a wonderful question, and wellness has become one of the most used terms currently, and it's just good to understand then what really does it mean. And how I tend to define wellness is it's a state of living where you're fully exploring your potential, that you're comfortable, that you're happy, and that how you feel internally is good enough, and it will help you do your activities of daily living, with the best that you can be able to do. So really, that is wellness. In general.
Njuguna, we hear this term organic. We are looking for organic carrots, organic cabbages, organic spinach. But do we really understand, what it means when we say organic? Because again, I think that definition has shifted over time, but you are an organic farmer. So what is, like, from your perspective, how would you define organic foods, and why? Why did you decide to venture into organic farming and not just farming? Because everybody wants to farm.
Yeah, so I think the term organic farming has been abused for quite some time now. Yeah. First, we like to say that it's a market-driven term rather than practice-driven term. Yeah. The right term should be agroecology farming, or practicing agroecology in the farm, where you take care of the soil, you take care of the plant, you take care of the farmer, you consider things such as the traditional nutrition of a given community, and move into the market now with the organic term in the same line. So when you consider what you want to call organic farming in those terms, then it means a holistic approach to food production.
Okay.
And market distribution that encompasses all the elements that go into place to produce food.
Yeah.
And doing that in a sustainable manner.
Oh, okay. Interesting pointers that you're bringing in. Then does it mean there's complete absence of pesticides and, you know, all those things that I put? Because on one hand, a farmer would say, yeah, but in a idea the crops to grow, and us, when we go to the market, tunatafutaga zile zina shine, zile mzuri, that is what we want. But then again, you speak to some farmers like you who would say, yeah, but then again, what exactly goes into growing that, whatever it is, the produce, and making it shinier? Maybe there are some things that that are not good. So is it like completely absence of pesticides and whatnot?
It's when it comes to the pesticide issue, it's about organic pesticide or natural plant-based mostly or animal-based pesticide rather than the synthetic one. For example, in our farm, I like to use the example of a rabbit urine mixed with pepper, that is chili, and the neem tree, mwarubaini, something that we kind of used to. But before we get to the pesticide, we always have to get it right with the soil.
Okay.
Because if the soil is not able to support the plant, then just like yourself, if you have an underlying problem, then it becomes very easy for pests and disease to attack you. So the foundation of the crop is in the soil. And unfortunately, the way we build our crop from the soil today with the synthetic fertilizer is not the right way to produce our crop.
Oh, interesting. We'll come back then to understand how we do that, because even now we're seeing a lot of people practicing with kitchen gardens and whatnot, but we don't really consider, like you said, the health of the soil as we're just planting because to member plant, you know, kitchen garden and whatnot. So we'll come back and understand then how do we take care of the soil so that it also benefits us in terms of the produce. But most of the time, Lillian, we talk about wellness, food, healing, but we don't really get to understand what do we mean when we say healing when it comes to food, and what foods promote healing, what foods sometimes, you know, do the opposite, and, and all those things. So can we then understand the role of food when it comes to healing and just general wellness, you know, based on what Susan talked about as well?
Okay. So first, as a human being, we need food to survive.
Okay.
That's the first thing that we all know. And our bodies are made in such a way that we are supposed to adapt or integrate ourselves into the planet or into the earth.
Okay.
And remember, there's a very simple concept of food. When God created man, he placed him in the garden and then provided all these fruits,
different kinds of
all
food.
these vegetables, and even gave them the wild and other animals. And then he told them that you're going to be feeding from this.
Okay.
And you said the way our body is made, our simple structure, the way we are made, we are supposed to be able to metabolize or utilize the food in its most organic or natural state. Now the problem comes when now we are taking up foods that have been highly refined. They have additives or other things that our bodies are not able to effectively synthesize and excrete whatever they don't need.
Okay.
You see, our body, our system, we have internal mechanisms to be able to control whatever we are taking and whatever we don't need.
Yeah.
So anytime that you take up things that are not needed for your body will try so much to make sure that it actually expels them.
Right.
And this is where disease comes in. Now, because now you're overburdening your system, like you've taken maybe highly refined, you've taken toxins or toxic foods, you've taken foods that your body cannot be able to change into simpler forms so that they can effectively eliminate it through sweat, through urine, or even through feces. So the body now comes in to start, you apart from injuring your cells, you start overstoring. And this is where now the issues, yes, the problem comes in.
Yeah.
And that actually affects wellness. So as in, when you think about food, most of us think about what you're just eating.
Yeah.
We just think about, okay, Momina said that I need to have my vegetables. Momina said that I need to have my legumes.
Yeah.
Momina said that I need to have my greens.
Yeah.
But we seldomly think about the quality of the foods that you are eating. And that is why we are seeing every other day, you're seeing people collapsing. And because people must look for solutions, we are blaming every other thing apart from deteriorating safety and quality in our foods. Yeah.
Interesting. And Susan, just to pick up on that, again, tuliambiwa vitamins, proteins, and carbohydrates important, but then again, there's so many other factors that come into play when we're thinking about food, and the safety aspect and the quality of food as well. But then again, how then do we utilize? What is it that you will tell someone from a wellness standpoint that yes, food is good, but also these are the aspects that contribute to general wellness, and then also come in to then figure out, so when we think about food, what foods should we take more of to promote general wellness? I know those are like 3-in-1 questions.
3-in-1 questions that I will answer. Very important points brought out. And one of the things I like saying is that our bodies are very forgiving. What we may have consumed things that have destroyed us, and not because wellness is about how I feel every day to conduct my duties. Am I living a life worth living? So first of all, it's good to just know, even with everything as a start, you can always say the body is forgiving. You start giving it good things, it produces good things. And what does producing good things mean? You start feeling good, ready to start off. But even as you look at going with the trends, I've been told to eat vegetables, I've been told to eat this. You have to also take time and realize that you're an individual.
Okay.
And that is where coaching in wellness comes in. We don't look at the general. We look at what works for you. So don't go with the trend, or go with the trend, but assess, how does it serve me? How is it working for my body? How am I feeling? And that now comes to be the difference when you're looking at everything that you implement to wellness must come back to me. Is it serving me? Is it working for me?
Okay.
Am I waking up feeling like, yes, I can live another day? Am I waking up feeling strong, energetic? So as much as we go through the trends of life and trying to adopt and trying to see, oh, what is this study saying about this? We must come back to ourselves and see, is it working for me? Yes.
I really like that. So then how do I know that certain foods are working for me? Certain foods are not working for me.
Very important.
Yeah.
There are 3 questions just when you come, before you come to implementation. And this is what I usually ask. What do you want?
Okay.
Susan, what do I want? I must say, 7 years ago, I was 97 kilos.
No.
Yes, I was. And when I looked at a short-term goal, I said, this is what I want.
Okay.
I want, by the time my son is 5 years and I'm going to a sports day in school, I don't want to be that parent who falls. No. So I had a goal. What did I want? I wanted to be fit. Okay? Then you ask yourself, how does that look like? For me, it looks like I need to lose kilos.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
That's my goal. Oh, okay. Then why is it important? It's important because it will make me feel good. I'll be a better mother. I'll be able to show up in life. I'll be able to show up at my workspace. So everything that we have boils down to an internal motivation structure where you ask yourself 3 questions. What do I want?
What do I want?
How does that look like? And why is it important to me? Then you say, this for me is wellness. Okay?
Yeah.
And you start going through research. Okay, so what is this? Then you have to always have an assessment. For you to know you're doing well, or you've done well in an exam, or you've been doing well, there has to be an assessment. So you say, okay, am I actually losing weight? Am I actually feeling good? Is my skin actually glowing? So you must have your own benchmark of saying, this is wellness for me.
So wellness varies from person to person.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, because we think wellness, general wellness, you know, wellness is wellness, but really varies from person to person. And Njuguna as well. So soil health, we don't think about it often. As we're thinking, so we're told to plant. Hey, see, we are planting because we need food and whatnot, but we don't really think about the health of the soil. So then, from your experience, what does a healthy soil look like, and what does unhealthy soil look like, and what is it that watu wa kawaida sisi wenye ndo tumeanza kufahamu, what is it that we really need to look out for when it comes to the quality of the soil?
If we really are to think about the quality of the soil from the point of food, then we must ask ourselves first, what is food? And where is this food coming from?
Okay.
Because food is more than that green sukuma.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the structure of it alone, that is mostly fiber and water. But you need that leaf or that fruit to have some micronutrients and nutrients, such as zinc, which are micronutrients, boron, such as magnesium, such as nutrients, other nutrients that the plant needs, and which ultimately your body needs through something we call cycling of cycling. It's like a cycle from the soil to the plant and to the human body.
Yeah.
Now, for the soil to be able to deliver that to you, and that's so that we call that food, there's so many things that come into play. And one is the fungi and the bacteria that is needed in the soil. Now, to maintain the fungal and the soil that is able to synthesize the nutrients and especially the materials that are rotting and be able to absorb into the soil needs to be alive.
Okay.
And they say that if you take a teaspoon of soil, it has so much microorganism that the whole world could have at any given time.
Okay.
Now, but unfortunately, in today's world, it's said that we are losing about 24 billion tons of healthy soil per year, which you can call it 24 tons of food per year ultimately. And the reason is because of our practice. Our extensive farming does not take care of the soil. We are raising the soil pH, we're making it acidic, which ultimately means that the bacteria in the soil are being denatured, or they are dying. The fungi in the soil are dying. They are not able to convert the nutrients that we spoke them for the plant and the roots to be able to take it into the plant, and for you to be able to take it through the plant. So unfortunately, where we sit today, our farming is wrong. We are farming the wrong way. We are not working on the soil, and so we are not working on the correct food. As I said the last time, we are planting what we call air burgers. We're just feeding ourselves on air
but
burgers.
we're depriving ourselves of the nutrients that we need.
There's nothing that we really feeding on. So that is the context of the soil and food from where we sit as farmers.
So then what is the danger in that? We're not taking care of the soil, so therefore the soil is not taking care of us, of the plants, and then literally, because then we consume. So what is the danger in that? The fact that we're not taking care of the soil. So then what does it speak on the quality of the food, and then the impact of that food, which is not of good quality and highly nutritious to ourselves and to our bodies?
Now, allow me first to comment on what he has said. I like the fact that he has actually said that it's a cycle.
Yes.
That the soil gives us, we have it, and then we're supposed to return to the soil. So in the ancient times, before we got to technology and all that, our waste, the manure, was actually used to fertilize the soils. But now the concerns of quality and safety because of the diseases, the pathogens, came to be, and people started using other ways of making the soil more fertile or more rich. Now, what does that mean? This means that the pathogens, as you said, because the quality of the food that you're having today is not determined only by, not even just by the selections, because as nutritionists, we actually emphasize on select quality proteins, select quality fats, select good quality vegetables and fruits, variety and such. But again, as you have said, if we are not ensuring that that Kenyan who goes to the market, when they're selecting those vegetables and fruits, they're actually getting the micronutrients and the macros that you actually advocate for, then you're still not solving the problem. Now, when it comes to availability of these nutrients, we have seen an increase in the cases of deficiencies. You see, people are growing fatter, but micronutrient deficiencies are increasing. So we are eating, yes, as you said, we are eating to fuel, we're eating to store. we're not eating to nourish. And when it comes to nourishment, nourishing is just not about eating to fill. You're supposed to eat to support your brain. You're supposed to eat to support your liver health. You're supposed to eat to support your digestion. Fertility. We're having a lot of issues with when it comes to infertility in women because of the quality and the types of foods that you are having access to. And you see that is even to add to the burden. If the soil is not taken care of, we now increase to the burden that you already have with the processed and refined in Akwashida.
Absolutely. Can we take a break? Because hey, now being debate took up like Kai. Is there help? Is there help? And how do we do better? How do we move, from this cycle of what we're doing now into better practices when it comes to farming, and also being mindful of what we're consuming and what it's doing to our bodies? Because we're doing badly, okay? We're doing very badly. But even as we take a break, the question that we're asking you this morning is, what traditional healing foods did your parents or grandparents swear by? We'll be looking at your feedback when we come back from the break. The show is Your World. We'll see you right after. All right, welcome back to the show. The show is Your World, and today is Wednesday. And every single Wednesday, we focus on wellness and health. And today, we're looking at food, and we're talking about rooted in wellness. And we're looking at the role of food in healing foods from the ground up. And the question that we have for you is, what traditional healing food did your parents or grandparents swear by? What traditional healing foods did your parents or grandparents swear by? I'm really curious to also hear what you guys have to say. Is there any food that they swore by? They were like, okay, kula hii. I remember when we were growing up, mwarubaini, and we would be forced to drink that thing, and it was bitter. But pana hii na nini magonjwa yote, so drink this, and it will help. I don't know for you guys, but that was more of like herbs than food. But what is it? Do you guys have food that your parents swore by?
And I always insist on it, and people, because of the quality of our food, people are complaining that mala is not something. You see, when I was in class 3, my grandfather came to my mom's place, and you see, we were having ugali, and she was having it with fresh milk. And then my grandfather asked my mom, why are you forcing the kids to have ugali and fresh milk? And they can do mala. So my grandfather used to insist that you cannot skip a day without having mala, because you see where I come from, we might not have the luxury of having the fermented porridge is for pregnant mothers or those who are breastfeeding. But currently we have everyone actually making them, which is good. But people actually now, the consumption of the fermented foods was not a thing. But now my grandfather used to insist on that. And the butter, is it the ghee, the one from the milk? He would actually bring it when he comes to visit. And will tell us, and he lived up to 118 by the way. And he used to do some other bad things that are not going to talk about. But because of that food habits, and he never used to have, his food was never fried. And his food was like, kama ni githeri venye ulisema, githeri had to be cooked every other day in that homestead. Without that, now the variety came in from lunchtime, and his mala and his ghee. So I think we need to carry forward such traditions.
That's very interesting.
And honey.
Yes, my mom actually, my uncle actually swear by honey. All day, every day, honey. Okay, Jugune?
For me, I have two very funny examples.
Okay,
the second one is actually the funny one. So for my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, we're still alive, maybe 100 now.
Oh, wow.
She never uses any medicine other than honey. So hata kubali hata umpeleke hospitali, and she's still alive, strong, still goes to the shamba and get us ndoma, and she's living well. My maternal grandfather is Kwapa Banana is about 95 maybe. He used to tell me that you will die because you eat a lot. So for him, eating less is equivalent to living a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
So that is something like you don't need to eat 3 meals a day. And that is something I never understood until I really dug into this. I didn't get the wisdom of it, but now it makes a lot of sense.
No, it makes sense. Yes. Do you remember the last time we were having this conversation, and you know, one of our guests actually said you can survive on 1 meal for 36 hours and you will be okay. You don't have to eat just because ni asubuhi, ni saa saba, ni jioni. You can still survive on 1 meal meal and only eat when you're hungry.
Yes, and it's actually research-based that the more you eat, the more your cells are unable to regenerate, and you getting closer to your death.
So how many meals then do you have in a day?
I'm really trying to get to 1 meal.
To 1 meal in a day.
Yeah.
Okay, Susan?
I mean, you'll allow me to comment on this. When it comes to wellness, one of the things I always say you need to be conscious about is your childhood and the things you used to be told about food do come in play when you're an adult, and they affect your eating habits. So even the way he says, 1 meal a day, and growing up to know that's the healthy way of doing stuff, it really affects your adulthood. But just back to the question, I honestly have 3.
Okay.
The first one is where I come from, fish. And next to exams, it was have your fish, it will help.
It will help, yeah.
So I must say it did help.
Yeah.
But I also remember my grandmother talking about, pregnant women who used to eat stones. I grew up with an auntie who was, during gestation, she would. And the thing was, it's giving them iron. So question begs, when I was, as an adult now, would I take, stone and say it would give me iron?
Yeah.
But also just talking about the eating habits, growing up and what we used to be told about food is one of the things is, for us, if you cook ugali and it finishes, people did not, get satisfied.
Okay.
So we must cook ugali and it must be big enough, na lazima ibaki. So just as a conclusion, I would say in terms of wellness, we need to be very self-aware of how our childhood experiences with food is now affecting us as adults.
I see, I see. And just then speaking on wellness, because you talked about some of the diseases and conditions that we're experiencing now because of the habits and what we're taking and how we're farming and and not just being mindful of the produce and what we're consuming. So then how do we reverse the situation? How do we use food for healing? And not healing because we're sick, but healing because we want to be healthy and we just want to be okay and live up to 100. And you said how many? 118 years. Wow. Yeah. How do we do that?
It's a very tricky situation, and I'll give Casey an example for me. The other probably 2 months ago, I was shocked to find out that I'm anemic.
Oh.
And I mean, how?
Yeah.
And it begs the question, when you're about to pick that skuma wiki, and the doctor will ask you, do you take vegetables?
You
like,
say
yes, of course I take vegetables. But the question is, do you take a nutritious vegetable? Where do you buy it? Because I was asked the same question. They said, but of course.
I'm a wellness coach. What do you
mean? I am I tend to think I'm the most healthy person and my household is healthy. But I think now what I'm getting even from my 2 colleagues is when you're about to buy something, there are 2 questions. One, a question that should come to mind is it nutritious or is it less nutritious?
Okay.
And I think if you're buying, let's say skuma wiki, and it needs a lot of research, asking yourself, where am I actually buying it? Personally, for kienyeji chicken, I just don't buy anywhere. I have to actually get organically from my father-in-law, who brings, and I'm sure he has, taken care of. So we need to ask the big question. Yes, you're buying vegetables. Yes, you're buying this stuff, but are they actually nutritious? Yes, because what happens is when you come to hospital and you find yourself in such a situation, and you'll swear that, yes, I definitely eat very healthy. But really, is it really nutritious?
Yes. And
when it comes to healthy foods, as she has said, selection is very important. And unfortunately, majority of Kenyans do not have the options of actually understanding where that food came from. That is where we need a lot of regulation, but that's a topic for another day. Now, when it comes to a healthy person, like now finding out that you have some deficiency, it might not necessarily be because you do not consume iron-rich food. It might be because, as they say, you might be having something that is actually altering or preventing your body from actually absorbing that iron. It can also be the fact that maybe you did not provide the perfect medium Maybe you see when you're having your greens or you're having your meats and your liver, you're supposed to have something like maybe a squash of lemon or an orange after, or even a mala, so that you can provide that acidic medium for absorption and utilization. So there's so many things that can actually cause disease. But when it comes to now the blanket, now the way that the country is actually suffering with NCDs erupting here and there, as he has said, the type of foods that we have in our market or in our tables do not meet what our body needs. Because you see now, I'm supposed to consume foods that are going to support and supply my liver with all the phytols, all the antioxidants, all the good things, the chlorophylls and such. But again, when I go to that, let's say I get sim or I get nuts, I'm expecting that I'm going to have a lot of magnesium from that. But again, now the quantities of the magnesium in that nut is a bit compromised, and I'm not aware that I can actually supplement on that magnesium to support my system. So my liver might not, my energy production might not work so well, and this will actually affect how my body works. I'll become more sluggish, I'll be less active, and then maybe at the end of it all, now the problem of obesity storing comes in. Now, disease does not happen, like the NCDs do not happen overnight. As she has said, it stems way back. You can start feeding disease to that child of yours who's 1 month. You give birth to her, you start unaanza compare these substitutes that we are against. Unamnyima matiti, unaanza kusema no, me I am a modern woman, I'm not going to breastfeed. You get from there, now you come in because you suffered when growing up. You did not have access to the fine foods, and I quote, because the fine foods is totally underrated. So you go in and you're feeding your baby every day cereals in the morning. Unampea all these other brands that I'm not going to mention. Mkate imejazwa trans fats. Kila siku asubuhi, it's the same thing. Lunch unampea noodles. You're a busy modern woman. Your house help is on TikTok. No one has time to prepare foods. So what happens by the time this child is 13, he or she already has hormonal issues. They have risk of metabolic disorders. They are getting type 2 diabetes at 13 years because watoto wametoshana. So we are feeding a lot of disease. Alafu 20-30 years tunaanguka na cancers. Things that, some diseases, the body, of course, we are not immortal. We are not supposed to live forever. But as I told you, and I like the fact that he said that his grandmother never gets sick. My grandfather only got sick at the end stage of his life. And that man was walking, even when he was like 80, he would actually move. Because I remember there's a time he was going to get one of my uncles somewhere. He walked. He told my mom, we cannot take a car. We have to walk. He made us walk from Inda to Kamukunji. And we walked. And he was past 80. So he did not die because of disease. He died because of old age. Because the body, after 40s and 50s, it starts degenerating. Now we are making our bodies to degenerate at 20s and 30s because of the foods that you are eating. What will happen when you get to our 60s? Tunakuwa immobile, we are disabled, tunakuwa burden to the society, tunakufa mapema.
Oh my days.
So a lot has changed. And the environment, the water, the soil.
There's a lot of things that has contributed
and also
into
stress.
What we're doing
As
now.
she has said, wellness, you have to think about your mind. Stress is the leading cause of disease. I think it's the most underrated.
Let me tell you, we have a very short show today because I think we need to finish in the next less than 10 minutes. We have a caller on the line, and then we'll come back to understand how do we treat ourselves better so that he produces better food. But Patrick, good morning. Patrick, are you there? Calling all the way from Kitale, my hood. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for calling us.
Hello.
Yes, thank you so much. Uko na swali ama
Good
comment?
morning.
Good morning.
My name is Patrick Kadere. Network mbaya.
Network ni mbaya. Yes, sisi tunakusikia Patrick. Yes.
Sikusikii, iko shida kwa mitandao.
Oh, okay.
But I have some good say there to be my guest.
All right.
But network inanisumbua kidogo.
No, go ahead. Sisi tunakusikia. Go ahead.
Call me back, please.
Okay. Okay.
Hapo sawa.
Hapo sawa. Aya, go.
Yeah. Morning, guys.
Good morning.
I'm Patrick Kadere.
Tunakusikia.
Kutoka Kitale. Winnie Lubembe, good kwa kazi unafanya ni safi sana.
Asante.
Mimi nilikuwa nasema hivi. In this Kenya we have many tribes. Na hizi tribe inafaa tujifunze nazo kwa malisha bora yao ili tujifunze. We live to learn from others.
Yeah.
So mimi ningekuwa napenda hivi. Mimi napongeza kabila kama Maasai with the one reason. Because Maasai sana ndio wanakula nyama. Plenty wanakula nyama na damu sana. Hiyo ni tribe yao. Lakini hao watu unapata wagonjeki arthritis, mambo ya magonjwa ya nyama. Because why? Because of what? Wanakula dawa. Wakishakula nyama yao kwa wingi wanakunywa dawa na mitishamba. So hii mitishamba inawasaidia kudigest that meat ambapo unapata wagonjeki ovyo. So even me ninajifunza pia. Asubuhi lazima nikule matunda yangu from the farm.
Okay.
Nderema nikule, wapike tu boil, saa zingine nikule tu, yani for my leisure. So inafaa tufunze pia watoto wetu viazi tamu hii. Unajua watu wa Nairobi hawakuli viazi tamu, wanakula tu mapizza, mayai, fry. Unaona?
Yes.
So pia lazima tujifunze kwa kabila zingine ile lishe yao wanakulaje, wanaishi miaka mingi aje, because unapata pastoralists sana wanaishi miaka mingi different from other people.
Okay.
So lazima tujifunze kwa hizi makabila kwa Kenya hii, unatembea unajifunza wanakula nini. Maasai nyama wanakula sana, au ni simba wanakula nyama, but hawagonjeki.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Wow. And it's true, because we are a very rich, diverse country, different cultures and different foods as well. So I hear what he's saying, embrace, different cultures and different foods as well. How do we treat our soils better then? Because and we were discussing this during the break and said, for example, from where I come from, we farm maize, and the practices we used 10, 15 years ago are still some of the practices that people are still doing up until now. And like you said, the production goes lower and lower by the day, but also the quality of the food is not good as well. How do we reverse that? I'm looking at our time.
It's in a catch-22 situation where we must think otherwise. The reason is we're not generally in a good place. And I was given an example of why does the government fertilizer subsidies keep on insisting on the delivery of NPK before they've conducted some soil analysis of our soil? Because I will go and collect some fertilizer at the cereal board and come and pump it into my farm. But who told me that my soil is missing? And we do this, but the production of our maize, because we have this craze with maize, keeps on depreciating year in, year out. I think we have to change tack. The other issue, of course, I usually have is this craze with export. We have become a food exporting country, yet we have a whole issue of deficiency, nutrition deficiency in this country. We are exporting avocados, we are exporting French beans, we are tons. we're exporting a lot of food, yet our country is not food sufficient.
And we're exporting the best quality.
And because the European nations will give you very tough, strict conditions for how they produce their food. But back here, we will end up having no food. I think we have to rethink our agri-policy from the intensive conventional kind of agriculture to an agroecological type of agriculture that takes care of the soil, that takes care first of the communities, the agri-community. Because where are farmers today? My farmers in Kimana, they export a lot of French beans. But that farmer hana mboga kwake. It's what I again call agri-colonization. Why is a farmer lacking such basic food for themselves that he has to go and buy these vegetables at the local market, vegetables that are not nutrient sufficient. And then, yes, we are eating a lot of sukuma wiki and spinaches. Yet, as you mentioned, we have anemia. How can that be? It's a policy issue. We have to rethink it. But before the policy people come in, we farmers cannot continue this way. We have to start with our own kitchen gardens. We have to rethink to the old model of working on the soil, do the composting, improve on the soil gradually. And it's a painful, gradual process that must be undertaken.
Oh, I see that. Njuguna, thanks. Let me take that as your parting shot because we literally have like 3 minutes before we say goodbye. But this is a conversation that we need to continue. So please make time again so that we can come back and talk about it comprehensively. But then again, so on the question of nutritious versus not nutritious, and we're consuming for the sake of consuming, and how wellness is so individualized, what is it that you'd want someone to walk out of the conversation today with, even as we cross fingers to continue with the conversation potentially next week?
I think I just have 2 things. Mindfulness, be mindful of what you're eating. Take as much information as possible, and awareness. Be aware of your body, be aware of what you're consuming. So be mindful, be self-aware.
Okay. And for the information part, because we Google a lot, like, is this nutritious? And then Google will tell you highly nutritious, and then we take it. Maybe that's not.
I think like he's supplying. I just learned that he's supplying stuff from his farm.
He does. I have.
Why should I not buy from him? Yes. You see? So now I'm more intentional. I'm more mindful that maybe what I'm consuming as vegetables. And I know there are other reasons for anemia. I was just giving that as an example. And I'm like, you have a farm. Great. Let me take it from him. So I am aware that his farm has this, he has his standards. And this kumawiki from this vendor and this kumawiki from this vendor, I'm more inclined to them because I know. So it's just every day being mindful of what you're eating, being aware of what you're consuming, and then, of course, just again, having your own standards as a person of wellness. Yes.
I really like that. I mean, he grows organic apples.
Why should I get from him?
In Kenya, I didn't know. And all those things. So being aware of where you're getting your produce. I like that. All right, from your end, what is it that you'd want someone to walk out of the conversation with?
Let's learn to protect our bodies. Disease does not happen today. It starts way back. So whatever we are doing, whatever habits that you're practicing today, whatever we are teaching our children will actually impact on their health and nutrition outcomes later on in life. So let's be intentional. It's safer to consume that vegetable that you're still not aware of its safety than going to get the highly refined foods. I'm not saying it's good, it's just
the ideal.
Realistically, it's safer. It's not ideal, but it's safer. So let's purpose daily, every other day. Let's purpose to protect. And you know, protection comes when we empower households at the household level. When the mothers, when the fathers know that yenyewe hii mkate imezidi, hata tuchange, hata tukule ndoma leo, wacha tukule ngwashi, wacha tuwekelee kawaru hapa hivi, unaona? Such small habits will actually reflect on our health and status. And disease, NCDs are expensive. NCDs are quite expensive. So let's protect. Protection starts now.
I really like that. And also what you're talking about, type 2 diabetes in kids, which is just so sad. It's really, really sad. That is really, really sad. We must do better. We really must do better. Promise to come back again because ndio tumeanza too short and sweet. But we really need to then comprehensively finish the conversation. But for now, allow us to say, a special thanks to, you, Lillian. Thank you so much for coming by today. Lillian Mumina, dietitian, Njuguna Ngonyu, organic farmer, and Susan Owuor, wellness coach. Thank you so much. Please make time, as well, because there's so much that we need to dig into the conversation today. And thank you for staying with us as well until the end of the show. My name is Winnie Lubembe. Spot on Team is coming up next with a very special interview. You do not want to miss that. But for now, have yourselves a lovely day and see you tomorrow right here on Your World. Goodbye.